Let's jump right in. Today's explainer explores a genuinely fascinating and, honestly, pretty dark intersection. We're looking at that exact point where humanity's darkest impulses just absolutely collide with our most cutting-edge tech. You know, when we usually talk about AI, we're thinking about what? Boosting productivity, writing code, generating quirky art? But what actually happens when these incredibly powerful tools get dragged into the shadows? Well, we're going to look at a source today that perfectly captures this digital collision, and it does it in a way you are definitely not expecting. It's a wild look at the modern web and the frankly bizarre hurdles we hit when we're just trying to uncover the truth. So let's get into it.
Section 1. A chilling digital headline.
So, the source material we're digging into today comes from the Dhaka Tribune, an English language daily, and they recently published a headline that is just, wow, it's chilling. It reads verbatim, Florida college students murder. Suspects search ChatGPT on body disposal. It literally takes this horrific real-world tragedy in Florida and wires it straight to an AI language model sitting on some server. The implication here is just terrifying, right? It suggests a suspect actually turned to a conversational bot, a tool designed to be helpful, and asked it for help with the darkest, most malicious task imaginable, covering up a crime. It's the kind of headline that just instantly grabs you and sets up a really intense narrative.
Which brings us to Section 2. Hitting the security wall.
Okay, let's dive into this. We click the link, totally expecting this grim, true crime story to unfold, but instead, bam! We slam face first into a digital roadblock. The narrative is just abruptly cut off, and you have to appreciate the sheer, almost absurd contrast here. On one hand, you have this incredibly heavy, emotional headline about murder and the malicious use of AI. It's intense, and then right up against it, the actual text we hit in our source material says, just a moment, performing security verification. It's just this totally deadpan robotic gatekeeper. The system literally could not care less about the gravity of the murder or the terrifying implications of the ChatGPT search. It only cares about one single thing. Are you a machine? It's just a wild, almost comical clash between a very human tragedy and complete automated indifference.
Section 3. Anatomy of a bot check.
So, our access is completely frozen. We're essentially stuck in this digital waiting room while the website tries to figure out if we're a bot. And our source material actually shows the exact mechanical sequence this system demands before it even thinks about letting us read the story. It goes like this. Step 1, the system flat out tells you it's displaying the page to verify you're not a bot. Step 2, you get that clinical little verification successful. Step 3, you're put in a holding pattern, waiting for www.dhakatribune.com to respond. And finally, step 4, the technical demand, enable JavaScript and cookies to continue. It's this crazy split-second negotiation, right? We literally have to prove our biological humanity to a machine by letting that machine run scripts and drop tracking cookies on our browser just to get past the front door. And then we get handed this. Array ID 9F3483736E31A64. This totally sterile, unique string of hex characters is basically the digital fingerprint of our blocked attempt to read the news. Every single time you hit one of these walls, it generates a unique ID. So our morbid curiosity, our desire to read about this suspect and ChatGPT gets instantly boiled down by the security system into this precise mathematical string. It's essentially a receipt for a denied request, proving we were there, just frozen in time during this security check.
And this brilliantly illustrates the bizarre reality of the modern internet. Just look at the forces colliding in this one single frozen web request. First, you've got the Dhaka Tribune, the journalistic institution holding the actual information, which is currently blocked from us. Second, ChatGPT, the generative AI that's the whole subject of this gruesome headline we're trying to read. And third, Cloudflare Privacy, the automated security gatekeeper standing right between us and the story. It creates this perfect, strangely modern triangle of information flow: the news outlet, the AI tool, and the security wall.
Moving to Section 4, the unread story.
Because of this massive security wall, the actual article about the murder stays completely unread in our source material. Think about that. We don't find out the suspect's name, we don't know the specifics of what they asked ChatGPT, and we have no idea how the investigation turned out. All we're left with is the artifact of trying to read it, ending with this simple signature at the bottom: Performance and Security by Cloudflare Privacy. I mean, really think about the stark, almost poetic irony here. We are sitting here, human beings, being forced by a machine to prove we aren't malicious bots. Why? So we can get permission to read an article about a human being who allegedly used a machine, a bot, for highly malicious purposes. The automated gatekeeper is literally protecting us from reading about the horrors of automated assistants. It's like a digital hall of mirrors. Which leads me to this final question for you to chew on as we wrap up today's explainer. As we plunge deeper into an era where AI can theoretically be used to, say, plan or cover up horrific crimes, like that chilling headline suggests, are these boring, mundane, routine anti-bot checks actually our most necessary gatekeepers? Yeah, they're annoying, they interrupt our reading for sure, but in a world where the line between human intent and machine execution is getting incredibly blurry, maybe this rigid, automated gating is just the defining characteristic of our terrifyingly advanced digital age. It's definitely a fascinating artifact to think about. Thanks for joining me to explore it.